Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, Rick the Dawn. Hey, what's going on, y'all? So, I did check out the fight, and I'm very curious to know what people think. There's a lot of chatter going on online. Before I get started, this episode is brought to you by the Rick the Dawn podcast. Something new out there. Go check it out and give your main man some love with a 5-star rating. Why not? Anyway, so what's going on with boxing? Let's just talk about the obvious. We just had a controversial decision that took, well, actually, it was a controversial stoppage that happened. What was it, just last week between Rolly Romero and Israel Barroso, whatever his name is. This is what happens when I try to be a boxing analyst. I'm not, clearly. No, nevertheless, we just had a huge debacle with Tony Weeks about the stoppage between Rolly Romero and Ismael Barroso. And I saw the fight. I saw the highlights or what have you. And I agree with most people who saw that fight as something wrong, some kind of sabotage, some kind of screw job. I believe that Rolly threw a shoulder punch and Tony Weeks decided to stop the fight. So it makes me wonder what's going on in boxing, man. Is it this bad? I hate to sound naive, but it's just, seeing the Rolly fight kind of shook me a little bit. I'm like, okay, it happens. It's not the first time that a boxer has been screwed, but this kind of feels like a new epidemic or pandemic, if you will. So we know that Haney came into the fight 30-0 and, young guy, what was he, 24 years old? Someone who's going to have a bright future, 15 knockouts. So he's definitely a huge, huge prospect. Every sport needs a face. With Floyd having retired, I think they're still looking for their face. Tank is definitely suitable. But I just think they're still trying to find the it guy. And we know that Loma came in 17-3 with 11 KOs, right? So that's what happened. The judges, I do want to talk about the judges. The judges were Tim Cheatham, David Sutherland, and Dave Moretti. Now, I think most people are upset with Dave Moretti, who scored the fight 116-112. Both Tim Cheatham and David Sutherland scored the fight 115-113. As far as my score sheet after watching the fight, I scored the fight 115-113. Okay, so I'm sorry, I scored the fight 115-113 in favor of Loma. I thought that Loma won the fight. All right. So anyway, just kind of talking about the fight in general, watching the fight was kind of cool. It started off with Haney dropping some bombs, man, just doing a really good job. And it wasn't one-sided, though. I do remember watching the first 3 rounds. And actually, I would argue that Loma won the first round, too. But anyway, it started off with some good exchange. And then Haney started to get the better of Loma, I would say around round 2, okay? I thought that round 1 went to Loma. I'm sorry. I saw it the first time, and I was like, oh, Haney got the best of him for the first 3 rounds. But when I saw the entire fight all the way to the end, I had to rewatch it. Like, wait, did I miss something? I rewatched it, and then I saw that, Haney was getting tagged in the first round. So I gave, Haney the beginning of the fight for the majority of the fight. You know what I mean? I would say things started to change around the end of round 5 for me. I think Haney had a convincing he did a convincing job in the first 5 rounds. If this fight was 5 rounds, then I would agree with the judges' scorecards. But man, what happened after the 5th round? It just started to swing. I thought that round 6 things start to change. I thought round 6 was very competitive, whereas either fighter could have gotten round 6. But around 7 and higher, Loma just woke up. So that's how I saw the fight. I thought that Loma won 115-113. I would have been okay with a split decision. But to see a unanimous decision in favor of Haney is a little suspect to me, and it makes me wonder what's going on. It's like, can we get somebody to check these judges' bank accounts, because that just seemed like a screw job. But I'm not here to point the finger at anybody, because one thing I noticed that a lot of people may not is that, it's just my opinion. So, for all I know, I'm not a boxing analyst. I'm not a boxing expert. So I want to make sure I stay in my place and respect the judges' scorecards and just give an opinion, if nothing else. I don't want to condemn them and, make them guilty of something I can't prove. But what I will say is it just felt bad. It didn't look good. The optics wasn't in alignment with what their scorecards were. So let's talk about the obvious. Haney did an amazing job with body shots. In fact, I looked at the CompU stats, and it looks like CompuBox stats, and it looked like Haney threw 100 body shots, landed 100 body shots. My mistake. He landed 100 body shots, and there were some good body shots. And usually you'll see a boxer start to wear down over the course of a fight from good body shots, but this was the exact opposite. Loma actually came alive, and like I said, from round 7 and upward, I thought the fight was Loma's personally. I did see some of the timidness that some people were talking about in round 2 and 3, where he just wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do. He's taking a lot of punishment. I saw that. I definitely saw that. However, what happened after round 7 for me was just pretty obvious. Loma beat the crap out of Haney. So in terms of punches, Loma landed 124 punches, and that is higher than Haney's 110. According to what I was able to find and pull up. And you definitely saw those punches land. Let me tell you. So from round 7 upward, what I saw was Haney get outclassed in a, just in a boxing context. I saw Haney just get wrecked, man. I think someone said, I was looking online, someone said that he's a young fighter, Haney I'm talking about. And what he does is he kind of, expends a lot of energy in the early rounds, which I kind of like. I appreciate that, because a lot of times I'm tired of watching fighters keep doing this for the whole, for 5 rounds straight, trying to measure stuff out. And Haney just said, let's go out and let's ball out. And I think it was Haney's father who said, look, we're not here to play. Like, let your hands go, that kind of thing. And I think that was a good strategy, apparently, right? He won. But I would say that he seemed to have tired out very early. And from that point forth, Loma put on a boxing clinic. Man, I've never been a big fan of Loma. I always thought that he rose to fame a little too fast. He had not really earned it. I thought he had been the beneficiary of some privilege, if you will. But man, I saw a boxing clinic. He hit Haney with so many straight lefts that I was starting to feel bad for Haney. And Haney doesn't have like the greatest like punch face. When I say that, I mean like when he gets hit, some boxers get hit, it's like, come on, But Haney, when he got hit, he was like, every time he took a left straight, it was like that's fake. He don't got like a punch, like he don't got like a good punch, he need to practice his taking the punch routine. Like you hit, like, all right, shit, okay. Oh, you got me. Oh, body shot. No, when Haney got hit with these Loma straights, he was so he got that little hair on the top. It was, I'm sorry. Anyway, back focus. So I thought that Haney just took so many straight lefts. I don't know, like, how did the judges miss that? And again, I'm not here to, condemn them or whatnot, because they're professionals. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, Loma beat the crap out of Haney. I don't know how else to say it. And like I said, I would have been cool with a split decision in favor of Loma. Decision. Like Haney lost. I'm sorry, Haney lost. This was as bad as who was that? Who was that fight between? It was between Floyd Mayweather and Jose Luis Castillo, something like that, right? You remember that fight? Like, I remember that fight. This is that moment. I hope Haney does what Floyd did, which is realize you lost. You lost, right? And come back better than ever. Even Floyd even gave Jose Castillo a rematch and beat him pretty convincingly in the second fight because he learned. But no, make no mistake, Floyd should have a loss on his record because he lost to Jose Castillo. No question. And I think the only way to rectify the situation for Haney is to run it back, bro. You got to run that back. You cannot go on in your career with that performance against that guy and then try to, make us all come along. I'm not going anywhere with Haney no more. I'm stopping here. I need to see that fight back because that was a loss for Haney. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not a boxing expert and I respect the experts. Let's get it clear. I respect their judgment. But from a fan's perspective, with the understanding that I'm not an expert, Haney lost the fight, man. I mean, who are we kidding? He lost the fight. And he lost in a lot of different ways. He lost in punch totals because sometimes I'll forgive a bad judgment or what I perceive to be a bad judgment as long as, some things make sense. Like if Haney outpunched Loma, I'm like, okay, cool. But in this case, Loma outpunched Haney, outworked Haney, and Haney was like he was just happy the fight was over. At some point. I mean, this guy was getting tagged. Now, I heard a lot of people say, well, it was the body shots that really make the difference. Bro, a body shot can't overcome what I saw. Like what I saw, and maybe I'll watch the fight again. Let me know if you're seeing it for Haney, because I know some people will, and I'm not against. I don't want to turn this into a fight and argument about, well, you're right, I'm wrong. Like, no, I respect what everybody thinks and says. I just want people to respect what I'm saying. I got the body shots. I saw the body shots. They registered. I got them. I saw them. I was impressed by them. I'll even go that far. But man, I saw everything else too. And I saw Loma hit this guy with so many lefts, so many straight lefts, and he hit him on command almost. It felt like he can get his punch whenever he wanted. And I can't tell you how many times, what was his name, Tim Bradley, or the analysts who are calling the play-by-play, I can't tell you how many times they said, hey, he can get his shot whenever he wanted. Like, anytime Loma wants to get this shot, and it made me wonder, like, why is Loma not just taking it I felt like this was a loophole in Devin Haney's like repertoire, his skill set. And, he just couldn't defend against it. I mean, every time, did you hear what I said? Every time Loma threw it, he connected every time. So I'm wondering why he didn't just say, what I'm saying? Just keep hitting with the left straight. Like, like he was hitting him and he was doing those little funny stuff and trying to do it, then hit him again. I'm like, bro, just come on, bro. It's there. Just go ahead. Just do this right here. Come on, Loma. It's real simple. Just do this the whole fight. And, that's how bad it was, man. He just could not. I don't know. It's like he couldn't do this or something. Like, no, I think Haney is very skilled. But I'll tell you what I think happened. Here's my opinion. I think that he got tired. And, if you've ever been in a competitive setting playing basketball, any kind of sport, once you get tired, it's almost like you just can't move, like you're in quicksand. I was playing basketball, what was that, last Friday, and the guy was guarding. I had pretty much locked him up the entire game, but once that fatigue set in, I remember one play, I just like literally kept my hands on my knees and just watched him run right past me, like, So like fatigue is like the great, the great balancer. I don't care how good a person is, how bad a person. If one person is fatigued, everything is equalized at that point. So anyway, yeah, I did see the body shots. I looked at them. I saw them in great detail. But man, it was the other punches that mattered to me. It's like all the other punches. Yeah, that's it, man. I would have called it 115, 113 in favor of Loma. What do you think? Did you see the fight? Do you think some cheating was taken or some cheating took place? And then also something that was really interesting that I heard in the play-by-play. I don't know what judge it was, but I want to say it was Dave Moretti. I want to say that, and if I'm wrong, I do apologize. But he was called out by the play-by-play analyst as the judge who scored the fight evenly. For what fight was it, y'all? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me in the comment section. It was a fight in which, I think it was the Tank Garcia fight. And we know that Tank knocked out Garcia, and I believe that this particular judge called that fight and said the fight was even, despite the knockout. It's almost like he ignored the knockout. So it's like the analyst was trying to put out into the atmosphere like this guy is known for controversy, and the controversy is so controversial that it doesn't even make sense. Like if a knockout is scored, that should have some effect on the scorecard, and according to this analyst, it did not. So, that's about when I was like, oh, okay. All right. It's pretty interesting. But anyway, this made me, I'll be honest with you, this is definitely not a good look for boxing. And if I can be truthful, I don't really want to watch boxing anymore. After the Tony Weeks sudden stoppage over Barroso, and now with this going on with Loma, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really want to watch any more fights, man, because now it's becoming a situation where if a knockout is not scored, then it's pretty much left in the hands of either the ref or the judges. And in both of these cases, they seem to be getting very wealthy at the expense of these boxers, man. This is kind of what happened against Floyd in what was the Olympics. Is like, I'm not doing this no more because some BS is going on. But I mean, is boxing really that bad? Is it this bad? Somebody tell me, because I'm not a aficionado when it comes to boxing. I don't know everything about it. I'll be honest with you. I like to fight, and of course, I respect just sports in general and the competitiveness of it all. But in terms of the politics, I'm not sure of how the politics work in boxing. I did know that there was some stuff going on over the history of boxing in terms of backdoor deals. Like, I get all that. But this is just, I just thought we were a little bit past that. I guess not. You know what I'm saying? I guess the politics of boxing are alive and well. And who am I to get in the between of that? Listen, you guys go right ahead. All right, I'll just, I just won't watch it anymore, and I'll just hear about it. And all right, they're still doing that. I'll, probably take a break from boxing because, man, that's just two very, very controversial things. And again, I respect the judges overall. I know that I'm saying some things that contradict that point, but ultimately, I do have to respect it. It's kind of like when you're, watching a crime trial and you don't agree with the judge. At the same time, you have to realize that they are the experts and they did the best that they could given the evidence. So you don't know what they saw, what they were looking for, what other things were in play in terms of who said what, who did what. And quite frankly, it wouldn't surprise me if Loma was the beneficiary of this type of judging. I'm pretty sure one or two of his defeated opponents would say, "Yeah, I remember I won that fight. I won that fight." Well, the judges saw it differently. So this is just one of those things. You know what I mean? I hope he doesn't retire. It was very, very hard to watch Loma in the dressing room or his locker room crying because that's a grown man, and on top of that, he's a boxer. So to see that he was crying, that told me that he really trained for this fight. He really cared about this fight, and more importantly, he thought he won. And so do I. So did I. But anyway, let me know what you think, and thank you for watching. Throw a like on the video if you enjoy any of this. Don't forget about the Rick the Don podcast. Yeah. All right, now, peace.